Harry Maguire, once the most expensive defender in English football history, has seen his career evolve in ways few could have predicted. From a record-breaking transfer to Manchester United to becoming an internet meme, his journey has been filled with ups and downs. Mistake after mistake has overshadowed his undeniable talent, leading to questions about how things went so wrong for the former Leicester City star. At his best, Maguire is a composed, ball-playing center-back capable of dictating play from the back. However, a loss of confidence has seen him struggle to find his footing, ultimately costing him his place in Manchester United's starting squad. When Manchester United shelled out a staggering £80 million for Maguire, the hope was that he would become the linchpin of their defense. Instead, his performances have often left fans and critics bewildered. From clumsy errors to unforgettable moments like his aerial collision with Paul Pogba, Maguire's time at United has become a reel of comedic missteps. But how did a player who once dominated on the pitch reach this point? The rise of Maguire. Maguire's career wasn't always under a cloud of criticism. At Leicester City, he established himself as a key figure in defense. Over 76 appearances, he scored 5 goals, delivered 3 assists, and became known for his composure, discipline, and leadership. Remarkably, in over 6,700 minutes of Premier League action, he received just 1 red card, a testament to his intelligence and controlled aggression. His standout performances caught the attention of top clubs. Both Manchester United and Manchester City pursued him in 2018, recognizing his potential to elevate their defenses. However, Leicester's £70 million price tag proved too steep at the time, and both clubs backed off. Then came the 2018 World Cup. Maguire shone on the international stage, playing a pivotal role in England's run to the semi-finals. His iconic headed goal against Sweden became a defining moment, and his stock skyrocketed. Leicester seized the moment, raising his value even higher. 2019, Manchester United returned to the negotiating table, desperate to address their defensive woes. They conceded a jaw-dropping 54 goals in the 2018-19 season, worse than mid-table teams like Crystal Palace and Newcastle. This time, United met Leicester's demands, making Maguire the most expensive defender in football history at £80 million, a promising start. Initially, Maguire looked worth every penny. In his debut season, he played every single Premier League game and anchored a defense that ranked among the best in the league. His aerial dominance, composure on the ball, and leadership qualities earned him the captain's armband after just a few months at the club. A rare honor for a newcomer. Fast forward to Euro 2020, and Maguire's reputation reached new heights. He was a rock at the back for England, guiding the team to the final and even scoring a penalty in the shootout with the confidence of a seasoned striker. The decline. However, football can be brutally unforgiving. By the 2021-22 season, Maguire's form began to dip. Costly errors crept into his game, and they weren't minor mistakes. They were glaring mishaps that often ended up on highlight reels for all the wrong reasons. From own goals to misplaced passes, Maguire became a source of frustration for United fans. The team's defensive record suffered as well. Conceding 57 goals that season, their worst in over 40 years, United's backline was in shambles, and Maguire bore much of the blame. Managerial instability didn't help matters, but his performances were impossible to ignore. Maguire's struggles became a focal point, with viral clips and memes turning him into a figure of ridicule. Even his teammates, themselves under pressure, began to question his contributions. What's next for Maguire? So, how did the captain of England's national team and a record-breaking defender find himself at this crossroads? The answer lies in a mix of factors: the immense pressure of the price tag, loss of confidence, and the volatile environment at Manchester United. While his story is currently one of decline, Maguire's early years and flashes of brilliance remind us of the player he can be. The big question now is whether he can reclaim that form and silence the doubters, or if his legacy will remain defined by his missteps. The 2022-2023 season was supposed to be a fresh start for Harry Maguire, a chance to silence critics and rebuild his confidence. Instead, it turned into a nightmare, with each match seemingly adding fuel to the fire. Still donning the captain's armband, Maguire had become a symbol of Manchester United's struggles in the post-Ferguson era. His once unshakable confidence appeared utterly shattered, and mistakes piled up relentlessly, each more costly than the last. The lowlights were brutal. In the Europa League quarterfinals against Sevilla, Maguire's own goal in the first leg left fans in disbelief. The second leg was even worse, a 3-0 humiliation with Maguire playing a critical role in Sevilla's opening goal. Similar disasters followed, including a dreadful performance against Leicester City, where his errors led to 2 goals and contributed to a third. Then came the crushing defeat to Liverpool at Old Trafford. Maguire was directly at fault for multiple goals in what became one of the darkest nights in United's modern history. Post-match, his apologies felt like a broken record. First and foremost, apologies to the fans. It's not good enough for this club. We're all disappointed. Week after week, it seemed like Maguire was trapped in a nightmare he couldn't escape. How did it go so wrong? This was the same player, once hailed as one of the Premier League's finest defenders, a rock-solid presence for Leicester City and a leader for England. But now, he was struggling to get through 90 minutes without a glaring mistake. Some argue that Maguire thrives in England's defensive system, where a deeper line and extra cover play to his strengths and mask his weaknesses. At Manchester United, where the high defensive line exposes slow-footed defenders to quick, agile attackers, his flaws have been laid bare. Whatever the cause, one thing is certain. For a player who arrived with an £80 million price tag, the expectations were sky-high. And Maguire has fallen far short. Unforced errors. Maguire has developed an uncanny knack for making errors that leave fans shaking their heads. Reckless challenges, misplaced passes, and defensive lapses have become all too common. These aren't isolated incidents. They've become a pattern. There's also the infamous 2020 incident in Greece, where Maguire was arrested following a brawl and later charged with assaulting a police officer. That episode seemed to mark a turning point. Before then, he was a commanding defender and leader under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Afterward, his confidence seemed to nosedive, and the assured player United once relied on was nowhere to be found. The pace problem. Maguire has never been the quickest defender, but he used to compensate with smart positioning and excellent reading of the game. Recently, even those strengths have deserted him. Opposing attackers now breeze past him, and under Erik ten Hag's high-pressing system, Maguire's lack of speed has been ruthlessly exposed. This has left teammates like Raphael Varane and Luke Shaw scrambling to cover for him, further destabilizing United's defense and leaving it vulnerable to counterattacks. Decision-making and positioning. Maguire's decision-making has also come under fire. Who could forget the bizarre moment against Tottenham when he tackled his own teammate? Or the countless times he's lost his marker during set pieces, leading to preventable goals. These lapses have made him a liability, and fans have grown weary of the déjà vu. Even the stats tell a grim story. At the start of the 2020-2021 season, Maguire made more errors leading to shots on goal than any other outfield player in the Premier League, a damning statistic for someone meant to anchor United's defense. External factors. It's not all on Maguire. David De Gea's limitations as a sweeper keeper didn't help. His reluctance to leave his line and poor distribution often put Maguire in tight spots, forcing him to play cautiously and stifling United's ability to build from the back. But even with those challenges, many of Maguire's mistakes remain baffling and self-inflicted. The mental toll. Beyond his on-pitch struggles, the mental toll on Maguire has been immense. During the 2021-2022 season, a study by the Alan Turing Institute revealed that Maguire was one of the most abused players in the Premier League on social media, receiving nearly 9,000 abusive tweets. It wasn't just online. During a Champions League match against Atletico Madrid, Old Trafford erupted in boos when Maguire was substituted. The abuse continued during United's preseason tour in Australia, with fans jeering every time he touched the ball. Even England fans turned on him at Wembley, a stark contrast to the support he once enjoyed. The end of the road, as Manchester United looks to rebuild its defense under new leadership, Maguire's place in the squad is in jeopardy. Unless he can rediscover the confident, commanding defender he once was, the writing is on the wall. While redemption is always possible in football, the road ahead for Maguire is steep. His story has shifted from that of a promising talent and record-breaking signing to a cautionary tale about the weight of expectations and the fragility of confidence. The door isn't entirely closed for Maguire, but the clock is ticking. In football, it's simple: perform or be replaced. Whether he can turn things around remains to be seen, but for now, the pressure has never been greater.